All right. Thank you so much, Olga, for coming to our podcast, Winning the Home Game. I know you're really busy, and I've always admired your business. You just know so much about condos. So, I love it when I, see one of your listings or, or we get to work together occasionally. It's so fun. But yeah, so my first question to you is, so for people who don't know you, like, how did you get into real estate?
That is a great question. First of all, thank you for having me. I admire you so much as well. And
Thanks.
we have been in a couple of terrific transactions,
Mm-hmm.
so you are amazing to work with.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so my story is a little unusual,
Mm-hmm.
but hopefully it's inspiring for maybe moms with children. So my background was Nordstrom. So for 10
Mm-hmm.
years, sales, management, and then I was in strategic planning as a financial analyst. And when I had my son Christopher, I decided to stay home, and I just enjoyed being a mom, but kind of got a little bored. I wanted a little activity, and so my sister was working new construction for a developer um, out in Highwood Ridge, out in Lidwood, new construction condos. And she said, just go get your real estate license, help me 2 days a week, bring Christopher with you. So that's how it started. And here we are 23 years later, still loving it. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that dip into new construction hooked me.
Mm-hmm.
You lead with service, you become a specialist on one project. So I learned a lot. I watched the construction process, the behind the scenes contracts, marketing, really, really good way to get your foot in the
Mm-hmm.
door.
Right.
And the leads come to you. So
Mm,
that was the comfort zone because
right.
I think a lot of people think they want to go into real estate and then they're wondering,
Mm-hmm.
well, how do you build a business? And it's a commitment.
It is, yes. And Nordstrom, I mean, that's the best client care there. So
Yes.
you must have learned a few things there too. And you're so
Yeah.
naturally, just so helpful and you guide your clients so well. So I can just imagine like that whole trio of how you did that was really successful for you. That's great. I love it. All right. What should first-time condo buyers look for in an HOA? We're going to get right into the condo stuff since you're
Sure.
like the queen of condo. And what are the biggest red flags you've seen? I'm sure you've seen a lot of different things.
Yeah, so that's a loaded question because HOAs, my specialty really is downtown high rises.
Okay.
So when you ask for red flags, boy, I'm going to full disclosure, I don't want to be liable for, I want to say anything negative about any condo,
Right.
but basically, one thing you want to look for, I always recommend you can hire, first of all, you can always hire a professional. Rebecca Bays is well known as a
She's great.
consultant. Um, and the bottom line is you want to look at, first and foremost, the basics of why you're buying that condo. So, for example, I help a lot of tech people, and one of my projects was a Scala, and I still am happily selling there. I was a former sales manager. So let's say I'm helping somebody who works for, we're going to use the typical Amazon, right? And if you didn't ask the right question, they get all excited about, yep, this is my building. Well, there's a rent cap there. And
Mm,
most of my tech workers, they do get deployed. So it's really important, first of all, if you're looking at HOA and you know you need to relocate, you probably need a building with no rent cap. And
mm,
as you know, as a lender, that's no longer a negative. So
mm-hmm,
people had probably a impression that that's a negative, and it really
mm-hmm.
isn't in Seattle. So that would be one thing I would look
Can
for.
you explain what is a rent cap?
The rent cap means that there's only so much of the building that could be rented.
Mm,
So for the example we gave at a Scala, it is a maximum 20% out of 269 condos. And so what can happen is some people are perpetual renters. I
mm-hmm.
mean, you could be waiting 2 years before you could rent your property.
Wow.
So that is a risk if you went in not knowing and you thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to take this new job in London. And oh gosh, Olga, will you list? Or no, Olga, will you rent this for me? And I'm like, no, you can't.
Right.
So that's an important thing I don't know if that's a red flag, but it's an
Mm-hmm.
important thing to review.
Right.
And then I would guess for using the word red flag, this kind of obvious is there's something coming up for an assessment. And I do want to spin that narrative a little bit. Assessments are not a bad thing. I know everybody's going, what?
Can you explain what an assessment is?
So certain buildings, and I won't say a name, but there's a project downtown that they're going to have to redo their windows. And if you've had a good HOA and you have been expecting this cost, they've been slowly preparing a budget. Perhaps they won't have enough to cover the full cost of those window replacements. Then they will assess each unit owner that amount to pay for the repairs. So if you weren't prepared for that, it could be 20,000, it could be 40,000. But if you're buying low at a low price downtown, which condos really are on sale, and let's say the typical price of this condo used to be 700 and you're getting it for 550, and you know, finance another 20,000 if lenders, that's a question for you. It's still a good deal, because now you are at the front of the pack with a newer building. Most of the buildings downtown have had their assessments. There's just a handful.
Right. Okay. And that special assessment is passed along to each unit.
Correct.
Okay. And so
It's
that means an
usually-
extra cost that the buyer might have to, fork up in the future.
Correct.
Okay. Got it.
And then the other red flag to look for is the HOA, or is the building in a current litigation? And you can speak to that, because what that means, if you're a cash buyer, it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
You can negotiate really well on pricing. If you are a borrower, as you know, certain lenders will not, they just consider it not warrantable. So
Depending upon the litigation itself.
Correct.
Yes.
And that becomes a little more complex. We both know of a building downtown that is just about done with it. And so it's not a negative if you're in a litigation. It typically means that they're just trying to come up with a good solution for the developer, insurance people, to make sure there's money
Right.
for perhaps construction defects. But it can happen. And typically, if you are borrowing, you might have to go at a little bit higher interest rate. And so that's something somebody may not know about, or they just have to eliminate one of their favorite buildings until the litigation is resolved.
Right. Which we're seeing right now at some really great places. Yeah.
Yes. And that's why I'm trying to be, not treat it lightly,
Right.
but it's pretty, for me doing new construction since 2005, I was lucky enough to be a part of Fifth and Madison, Escala, all of 8. So these are all my 2010 builds. And so what I learned is typically after 4 years in Washington State, we have the Condominium Consumer Act. And after 4 years, it is common for certain attorneys to pursue litigations. So about year 5, 6, all those new construction, they may start a litigation. Now we're in 2025, so if there were any issues, it's been resolved.
All right. How does a buyer know whether a condo building is healthy financially, structurally, and operationally?
Good question. So again, you're going to get a resale certificate. In those documents, and it sounds a little confusing because some people call it resale disclosure, but just know it's prepared by the property management company. And in those, it's a big file, like there's 500 pages. It's nighttime reading, or you hire a professional. But essentially, honestly, anybody can quickly open those documents and first look at the disclosure resale certificate. It will say it'll show you what the reserves are on that first 3 pages, and then it'll also disclose if there's an upcoming assessment. So literally in the first 1 minute, you can go through and see, okay, cool, there's no litigation, there's no upcoming assessments. And then in the rest of the documents, you could hire a professional to assess if the reserves are sufficient. I would caution, sometimes you have to realize that the people that are interpreting this data, they also don't want to get sued. So sometimes that analyst can be a little heavy-handed on suggesting, well, you should be at 50%
You talk about
reserves.
an outside company?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. And I mean, in theory, yeah, that'd be great, but not everybody has 50%
Right.
reserves.
That's pretty high.
So just using kind of common sense, reading through, I'll give you a case in point at all of 8 condominiums. So they just recently finished a whole remodel of their lobby 2 years ago for the residential side. They just are finishing changing all the carpets and all from floors 19 to 39, wall color, and the 18th floor amenity. So now, if you're buying, it's all been paid for. So when you're reviewing those resale docs, just review HOA meeting minutes, and you can see even from 2 years ago, the discussions of, hey, we're doing new wallpaper, we're doing new carpet. So you can kind of prepare for those. If you're not sure, those are questions to ask. You ask the selling agent, the listing agent, hey, are they expecting elevator maintenance? Are they upping their condo dues to cover package delivery? That's a new line item
Right.
because we are now at Amazon
Right.
shopping.
I've seen that too in some
pretty
condos.
crazy.
There's Amazon little cubbies
Some
where
are
they put yeah.
cubbies, and then some places like Escala, they pay full-time staff to deliver
Wow.
packages.
Wow.
Not everybody does that.
Right. Okay. Interesting. All right. For someone considering a pre-inspected or newer high-rise, how is that process different from a traditional single-family home purchase? And I know you do both.
Yes.
Yeah, so tell us.
Okay, so for new construction, I'm actually having that happen Wednesday at Greystone. And typically on new construction, they will have a dedicated team. It's called the Arrive team. So they'll walk with the homeowner, and it's actually a cool process because you still get a 1-year warranty. And you think about new construction, you have to get a certificate of occupancy. So everything in theory is in pristine condition. Plus, you're getting a 1-year warranty. But I have walked the units, and sometimes like a cabinet is ajar or we blue tape things. So for new construction, you will walk with the developer rep called the Arrive team.
Okay.
However, my client we're still bringing in an outside inspector.
Oh, you are still bringing. Okay,
She's,
right.
I mean, she really doesn't need to, but sometimes.
That is rare, right?
Yeah, and I don't want to question,
Yeah.
you know how sometimes she was coming from single family home, and sometimes you get these sideline coaches of, what do you mean? I'm just going to say, Sarah, what do you mean? Why aren't you having you should always have your own inspector. So I just didn't question. I said, okay, well, you're going to pay 500, so we'll do the Arrive walk through,
Right.
and then we'll have the inspector come through. And condos are not the same as single family homes because it's not as if you get to scale the side of the building and look at the roof materials. That's all disclosed in the resale certificate. For resale, and when I say resale, condos that are no longer new construction and somebody has resided in the property, now I am saying do inspections.
Yeah, I see those a lot too. There's inspections for condos that are resale.
And some of it, unfortunately, to be candid from my experience, you can't really, the main thing that sometimes fails is the HVAC. And we've had McKinstry, we've had Cardinal, and they've serviced it. And I've had occasions where after closing, the whole unit failed. So
Oh, wow.
one thing I advise, and this is for condo buyers, if you're buying in a condo that's 15 years or older, I would get a home warranty for HVAC.
Oh, that's great advice.
It's
Okay.
really, really difficult. You can say you've serviced it, but in my experience, it can fail literally a week or 2 weeks, and it's nobody's fault. It's just the
The
age of the
lifelong,
unit. Yeah.
exactly. Right. That's great advice. Love that. What type of buyer is best suited for a condo versus a single family home in your experience? And who is the ideal condo buyer? I love this question.
Oh, so good. Say that again. What kind of
Yeah.
buyers?
What type of buyer is best suited for a condo versus single family?
I need to stop you there for 1 second. Okay, so a condo versus what I have seen over the years, I've only had this happen, I think, twice in 20 years. Someone that picks a condo has got to be comfortable going in an elevator with other people.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I had one client, I think, like I said, this only happened twice. And I said, "Why are you moving? You've only lived here 2 years." And they were used to this big spread up in Redmond, and she said, "I don't like riding in an elevator and having to come face to face with people." So if you're a shy person, you're going to be stuck in an elevator
That's a great point. Right.
every day with someone.
Right.
Okay, and then what's part two?
And then the part two is, let's see here, is your experience, in your experience, who is the ideal condo buyer? Are there some attributes that you can see right off the
Yeah,
bat?
that's a really good question. I would like, oh gosh, you can go deep microclimate on who that is. So typically, each of my buildings, I know who the buyer is. So if you are, and we're starting to see that come back, an ideal buyer who wants a second home near to go to Mariner games or Seahawk games, typically that buyer is going to want something modestly priced. Not always. They could, spend a lot and get something big and fancy, but usually what I'm seeing for that buyer is they'll pick typically like an olive 8, just get a little 650 square foot with these amazing water views. It's near light rail, near the Paramount. Then my other ideal is obviously tech, and we love our tech workers. Most of them really don't use their cars, believe it or not. And so those are my insignia, Inspire, not to label, but you're so close to all the offices.
Right.
I mean, for those of you who haven't been downtown lately, near the Spheres, near 8th and Olive, Amazon has a significant presence. So those condo buyers love being able to be so close to work, but then they come back to the luxury of a high rise that is different than even a Queen Anne home. And I think the reason they pick some of these luxury high rises is you go up to the rooftop deck, and so you get to live like you're in a multi-million-dollar home.
Right.
Just like so amazing, 360 views, swimming pool, full gym, and you're just sharing that cost with on that particular building, 2 towers, so 700. So you get to share that cost. And it's never, honestly, for Insignia, it's never overly crowded. I feel like everybody's able to enjoy those amenity spaces.
And I think there's a lot of safety too.
I
I know a lot of
agree.
single women who are buying condos because they like the fact that they're not, there's not a door that goes outside. They feel safer in that environment. I think it's a great starter especially for a single woman.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
And with that, just to kind of delve into the difference of condos with or without a concierge, there is some benefit if you are a single male, female. Having a concierge there, you do have someone kind of that's always there to check in. You feel like they recognize you, like, "Oh, Olga, hey, how are you?" So you have an instant community.
Right.
And security. It is secure.
Right.
The gatekeeper's there. You
Right.
can't walk in.
Right. I love it. I love it. Okay. What lifestyle factors matter most to your downtown buyers? You mentioned the Mariner games, Seahawk games. Like they love that.
Depends on the building. Seems like my trend right now is everybody wants water view. I want water view for $1.2 million. So
Is that possible?
No.
Okay.
Kind of. So it takes a minute for us to work together. I'm giving a plug for my webpage. I'm really proud of it, the SeattleCondoGroup.com.
Wonderful.
It is the most comprehensive, easiest way for any consumer. People probably don't remember Granimals, but I color coded each. So here's all the condos in South Lake Union. Here's all the condos in
You
Pike
made
Place
up.
Market.
I mean, you did that
Yeah,
website.
I authored it 9 years ago, and then the brilliance behind it is I hire people smarter than me for the SEO,
Right.
and then obviously the visuals, but the value I added was just consistently making it user-friendly for people. And so, let's say somebody, all of a sudden they say, I want, yeah, that. And I go, okay, let's look on the map, and here's the buildings that would get you protected water views. Most of them are going to be, honestly, closer to Belltown. Belltown gets a bad rap. Belltown, really, the units or the condos that I want to just start calling it Elliott Bay, because there's one pocket near Climate Pledge, 2 blocks above the sculpture park, so quiet. So you're anchored by just people doing boot camp, apartments, and it's just this village of Avenue 1, Ellington, Bay Vista, Seattle Heights, Harbor Heights, the Vine and the park. That's everything.
Right.
And so then once people compare that and they're like, okay, well, I could get a water view, maybe a 2-bedroom for 900, not updated at the Ellington. So then they look at that versus, okay, we're going to go see what we get at a Scala. A Scala, all the 2 bedrooms are 1,600 square feet. So right out of the gate, you're over $1 million, and your
Right.
dues are higher.
Right. And that's without a water view?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody wants water.
Yeah, everybody wants
Right.
water. So to follow up on that is what I'm seeing is people are just they're changing their paradigm. They're shifting. So people who said they would never move to Belltown are buying there,
Right.
or they're going into smaller floor plans.
Right.
If water view is important. to
Right,
you.
exactly. I mean, you could spend a lot of money for a single family with water view
Oh, it's
versus
not
a
even
condo. Yeah,
it doesn't
it's
even
amazing.
exist. I live on Queen Anne, and
Yeah.
if you think about the Queen Anne Hill, anything on Highland Drive or any of the condos, gosh, on Highland Drive there was 2,200 square feet for 5.5 million.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So my point being is you do get a lot for your money in downtown Seattle,
Right.
Because you're vertically higher than some of the suburban condos.
That's right. That's right. Right. I love that. Makes me want to buy a condo.
Good.
Okay. All right. So now we're going into the home stretch segment, and we're going to ask you some fun questions. One thing you wish your client knew or understood before making an offer.
So good. Well, 2 parts. One, the understanding of talking to a professional like you about portfolio lending, understanding that rather than asking for concessions on the price, I personally feel you're much better served to have the seller give you credit back.
Okay.
And I don't mean to be, you are the expert at this.
No,
but
you're right. I
but
agree with
so
you.
for condos, you can get up to 6%. It doesn't mean that they're going to give it to you,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're borrowing, you do get up to 6%. So let's
Mm-hmm.
say you're buying 600,000. 6 times 6 is 36,000.
Mm-hmm.
That price point, a seller's not. They'll probably give 15, but it goes so much further
Mm-hmm.
than having your loan reduced by 15,000. And
correct.
you can explain that.
Yes. The seller credits can help out-of-pocket costs. So there's the down payment and then there's closing costs, which typically are 2% of the purchase price, sometimes a little bit higher, sometimes a little bit less. So getting seller concessions to pay for that is immediately a reduction in your out-of-pocket costs. Or they can use that money for points to buy down the interest rate to have a lower payment. But
And
yes.
and that's where I see, especially for first-time home buyers, it's all about their cash flow.
Right.
So even if let's say you're making 120,000 for Amazon, right? And you've been renting for, this is like, I go straight to these questions when people come to my opens. Let me guess, you're living in a 1-bedroom. Okay, which apartment building? Okay, you have 37th floor, 700 square feet. You're probably paying 4,200 a month. Oh, how'd you know? Okay, and you have spectacular views. Yeah, so we do. And I said, okay, well, you can't buy that. You can't buy a condo for 4,200 a month. So first we set that expectation, but you can get a really nice, so we'll go back to Olivate as an example. Let's get down to that same renter that is used to spending 3,800 a month, right? So typically I try to back them in, like, what is your comfort zone? How much
Mm-hmm.
have you saved?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you do this up front, it really it helps them either shift their shopping choices because I would rather have them know up front so we're not disappointing everybody. Like,
Mm.
let's talk about what you can buy for your budget. And then once you have an idea of what your monthly nugget is, that you're comfortable, let's back into the purchase. And you can, as I mentioned, do much better with buying down the rate or prepaid closing costs or
Mm-hmm.
prepaid HOA dues. And then hopefully we'll see rates come down. And then you, in a perfect world right now, which I believe we're at, we have not seen appreciation since 2020 in downtown condos.
Mm.
So for those who, can do 600,000 and you're borrowing at 6%,
Mm-hmm.
that's 3,600 with HOA dues,
Right.
roughly 500. It's a good value.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good
It is a
value.
good value.
And then let's say next year they come down a little bit. You tell us, is there a cost to refinance?
Well, if a client comes to us for the purchase, when they come back to us for a refinance, we give them a 3-year window for a no-cost refinance.
So that is huge.
Yeah.
For people who have
Mm-hmm.
not, I've been in the industry for 23
Mm-hmm.
years. It used to be a significant
Yes,
fee.
it's usually the same closing costs as when you buy
So
a
like
refinance.
1%.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah.
So another reason for people really to consider, I can't speak for single family homes, but I do know in my experience for condos right now, they just did not appreciate for many
Right.
reasons downtown. COVID, as you know, everybody left.
Right.
Now they're coming back. 2023, we're just starting to see growth again. We're still selling,
Right.
but it has to be at the right price because
Right.
rates doubled.
Right.
This year, 2025, December is starting. December is my busiest month for downtown
Wow.
condos.
That's amazing. That's really great. Okay. Okay, so this is a little personal question. What's your one money tip you live by?
For me personally,
Yeah.
that's a tough question. I'm a shopper.
I know, me too.
Ooh,
No. Yeah.
money tip. Well, I'm a big believer, don't borrow. If you don't have the cash to buy that luxury handbag, do
I
not
love
put it
that.
on credit card.
Right.
And even though I do love clothing and I love pretty things, if I haven't had a good month, there's no shopping.
Mm.
So it's my incentive to myself to perform. Everybody has something different. Maybe it's gifting to their children, or I'm in a situation where we are dual income and we are empty nesters. So, I'm going to say 26 years later, I've kind of earned the right to buy myself a nice luxury item.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
those first years, oh my goodness,
Right.
you don't get to be comfortable without a little pain, kind of like working out.
Right. I love that. If you can't buy it cash, don't buy it at all.
No.
I love it. Okay. What about a must-have kitchen appliance or household item that you can't live without these days?
Gosh,
Like I was
I'm
really into the Ninja.
DoorDash.
Oh, DoorDash.
I don't cook.
Okay. So the app.
Only my Nespresso machine.
Oh, there you go. Of course. That's very important. Yes. Okay. We all need that. Okay. All right. Here we go. So can you explain the difference between a great HOA and just an okay HOA from your insider point of view?
I think a great HOA is as good as the collective members that are running it. So that's kind of a hard answer to question to answer, and it's hard for a consumer really to know. But if I were buying a condo, I'd just get down and read the homeowner meeting minutes.
Okay.
A great HOA is by its leadership. Your property management company, that's also part of it. But really, the directors, the president, the secretary, the accountant. I've been so lucky. All the buildings I work on, many of these people are retired attorneys,
And do they live in the
engineers.
buildings too?
Yeah,
That's
and
wonderful.
so they're kind of doing this pro bono work. So I would say pretty much every building downtown, it's a pretty sophisticated group
Mm-hmm.
of um, HOA committee members.
Got it. Okay.
I can't speak for smaller units, but um, I would just make sure to read the meeting minutes and just see if there's uh, any source of contention.
Okay.
Because if you see complaints in those meeting minutes, if it's one person in the building or if it's like smells from the garbage area, like that's a real deal
I
breaker.
love that advice. Read the minutes. That's great. We talked about this a little bit, but are sellers today in the condo market offering concessions? They
Yes,
are. Okay, because it's for sale.
it's all interest rate driven.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, they want to help them.
Mm-hmm.
They get it.
Right. I love that. Okay. All right. You have a reputation for incredible service and deep building knowledge. Obviously, we've been listening to that. What's your signature approach to guiding a client from search to keys? Like, do you have a process that you go through?
It's a discovery
Okay.
process, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about talking about me, I've
Mm-hmm.
sold this, I did this. I mean, some of that comes out where I will just tell them about where my background is, but it's the discovery process of Julie, tell me what is important to you? Why are you looking at a condo? Do you want a concierge? Is there a location you prefer? It's really a discovery process. And then the cool thing, I think, why I've been uh, able to help people so quickly is I teach them what they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So you think about single family homes or even townhomes. Let's drive along the street and you can see exactly there's a modern home, there's a brick. If you're driving downtown and you look up and you're like, well, what isn't there a 30th floor one bedroom at a Scala? No. So what I can do really, really quickly to help is all I do is teach.
Mm.
And then we compare and contrast and we do this really fun exercise like I'm spending your money. And so I'm like, okay, we're going to start over now. Julie, what's the two-bedroom floor plans at a Scala? And you're going to go, oh yeah, they're all 1600. But Olga, isn't there one with a den? Nope, it's the same, all four corners the same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I don't think I want to spend that much on that big of square footage. So we do this game and then we compare buildings and boy, honestly, like after 4 visits together, and if there's good product, people are making decisions.
That's great. So much knowledge you have that
It's
you can
so
just
fun.
share.
It's so
Yeah.
easy for me, and it's not
Right.
me telling. And I
Yeah.
have, I don't know if we're supposed to say age, but I have several 80-year-old clients that are young 80. They're so
Oh, that's
cute, so
awesome.
vibrant. They don't
Yeah.
want to go to assisted care. And it's been really fun to work
Mm-hmm.
with that demographic.
Yeah.
So we talk about like one client, he sold his home in Madrona, and another client, and he wanted to be back where he worked originally. So we found an awesome place near Pike Place Market. And then the other important factor for anybody buying is, especially in
Mm-hmm.
that demographic, they're like, I still might want to host all my grandchildren.
Mm.
So this other gentleman, he's at Greystone, and oh my gosh, his kids love the amenities. They come visit them so much.
Wow.
And you look at, no offense to Skyline, but Skyline are the two neighboring assisted living, super expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, instead of paying 8 to 16,000 a month, they can
Buy a condo.
buy a condo.
That's great. That's a great advice. I didn't even think about that. I love that. All right. Okay, the last question. How do you see the downtown condo market performing today, and what insights or trends are you watching as we look forward to the future? How do you feel about values?
Yeah,
Where
I
are they
mean,
going?
values are low right now, but
Mm-hmm.
the the main thing that's keeping certain demographics from downsizing, I'm going to maybe get this number incorrect, but we have, at one point, we only had 37 three-bedrooms. There's probably 50, but of those additional 13, they're quite small. So a
Mm,
three-bedroom for somebody leaving a 4,500 square foot home, they want 2,000 square feet.
Okay.
or 2,500. And those are penthouses. I mean, we just don't have enough.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably one barrier of entry where people just won't even make a decision, or they'll go into much smaller square footage. Okay, so insights and trends, people are buying at buildings closer to the waterfront, as I mentioned before. We have a tremendous new waterfront park that it's a game changer for the city. If you've not been down there,
Where the aquarium is, where all that, yes,
it's like a
stunning.
whole different city. It's
Right.
so quiet. So in the past, those people always wanted to be closer to my Escala or Olivate, but I have seen a shift, and people really wanting to be near this new walkable part
Right.
of the
You can
city.
walk. You can just walk over there.
And then hopefully the next forecast is public safety. So part of, I'm just going to say the elephant in the room, part of our reason of compromised prices is public safety. And that's a real concern when you're having to pay quite a bit of property taxes, HOA dues, and not having a pleasant experience walking to Nordstrom.
Right.
So if we can get that under control and bring back, again, this was COVID related.
Exactly.
I mean, downtown, the reason when I started this in 2005, and let's go to 2010, when unfortunately we did have the Great Recession, right? But it was very glamorous to live downtown.
Very much so.
And the reason people lived downtown was it was so exciting to go, which we're starting to see come back, out to dinner. We have the new Carmine's on 5th.
Right.
People love to go to Benaroya. They love to go shopping. So if we could get Pacific Place back with some more retailers,
Right.
and, you know, God bless U Village, but
Yeah.
we need some more retail. So if we
Right.
can see that come back, oh my goodness, nowhere in the world can you walk 4 blocks and see the Great Wheel, see ferries, even
Right.
Bellevue.
Right.
You don't have ferries in Bellevue.
There's none.
You
Right.
don't have stadiums. You don't have
Right.
a Space Needle. I mean,
Right.
we're one of the greatest cities anchored by your office.
Mm-hmm.
Bohai, South Lake Union is a mile and a half from Lake Union or
Right.
Queen Anne. We
Yeah.
have one of the best cities.
We do.
So I do anticipate we're going to get better. So my forecast, and this is the truth, I did a matrix because developers always ask me, Olga, what should we do? Should we make these condos? And I'm like, yeah, if you can build them for 600 square foot, I can sell them for 1,200. Ooh, no, it costs us 900 square foot, so we need to sell at 2,000 square foot. So are you going to pay $2 million for 1,000 square feet? Never, never. So this is my forecast, and I really believe it. So what all these developers have done, for many reasons, it's for, in my opinion, and it's the truth, for tax savings, they've built apartments. So now, when I started, there were 7,000 apartment units. Now we have 42,000 in a
Wow.
2-mile radius.
Wow.
Kiara, Tower 12, Stratus. I mean, so I did this matrix and I'm thinking, okay, at some point, which I'm starting to see this year, because most of those were built 6 years ago. So 6 years of renting, that buyers starting to think, ooh, maybe I should buy something. So if you just take 10%, even of 30,000, that's 3,000 potential people coming in to buy. We only have under 10,000 total condos. So at some point, it's back to supply and demand.
Right. Right. I believe that. So it's just a matter of time before values are going up.
Yeah, and then
Right.
the teeter-totter will balance with, once you hit 5%, I witnessed it. If you can get to 5%, it opens all of these renters to being a 650.
You're talking about in the interest rate.
Yes.
Yes. We will see that again.
We will see
We
that
will.
again.
Yeah. And so people who are buying now are going to get a better deal because when the
You're getting a
rates
lower
drop,
price.
the prices go up.
It's exactly
It
why
always
the
happens.
prices are lower.
Right.
Certain floor plans that I sold for 750,
Mm-hmm.
I'm selling for 550.
Wow.
But it's not that complicated.
Right. Right.
When those people bought, we may not see it again. right? That was during COVID, 3% interest rate. 4, 5, 6, 7. Of course, prices are going to come
Yeah,
down.
exactly. It's all math.
650, 550. So, yeah, so I think right now for anybody that does have the cash in the stock market, and that's why I'm seeing a lot of parents that have, a lot of equity in the stock market. They're pulling out to help 40-year-old sons and daughters buy their first purchase.
Right. The average first-time home buyer age has increased to
Yes.
the high 30s.
Yes.
So it has increased, yeah. Wow. Well, Olga, you have such a wealth of knowledge. You make me want to buy a condo.
Yay, well, call me. Visit the SeattleCondoGroup.com.
Yes, yes. So that's where we can
And I
find
do
you.
houses also. I do help people
Yes,
graduate
you do.
from condos, and we look at
Right.
townhomes. But from doing this for so long, it's so easy for me, and
Right.
I can quickly tell you every floor plan and every building.
You just know exactly.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, after you've done it long enough, it's not like the buildings have changed
That's
floor
right.
plans.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, you've helped so many people, and any first-time home buyer, any buyer would be so lucky to work with you. So thank you so much, and we'll put your website on the podcast also.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.